1 week and a half into South Africa, Sam has already broken herself into the hospital.
Wow, okay, so it has been a minute. I kind of died and went to the hospital for a bit. So this is a nice little sit down and story time with me about how I ended up in the hospital here in Johannesburg. So basically, one night about 2 weeks ago, the family that we're staying with brought us out to eat at this place called Monte Casino, and there's like, it's like this indoor Las Vegas type situation with like laser tagging, there's gambling, like slots, there's a movie theater, there's just like absolutely like everything. So basically, when we were at Monte Casino, I decided to branch out and eat something that I normally wouldn't eat. I decided to eat seafood, which Johannesburg is a landlocked city. Everyone told me after the fact that I should have known, but the thing is Dave and Brendan both ate oysters, which is like even nastier than just prawns. Like prawns are so easy to cook. You can get them frozen, which is exactly what I kind of thought that restaurant would have done. But here's the thing. So like I got home that night and I wasn't feeling super good. So that was kind of like the first sign of it. And the next day I woke up thinking that I was okay and ended up bedridden. It was just everywhere. Like it, I don't want to get like too explicit with this because it was disgusting. But basically I ended up with some form of food poisoning or salmonella or who knows what. And it was just coming out of every single end. It was disgusting. The thing is, I have IBS, and what that means is basically my intestines and my stomach do not agree with most of the stuff that I eat. So for me, dealing with food related sicknesses isn't like a new thing. So I was kind of like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll pass, it's not a problem. But then as the day progressed, that first day, I believe it was a Sunday, as that Sunday progressed, my stomach started hurting so bad. And I started having these abdominal cramps. I cannot even explain how bad it hurt. It was like having your period cramps, but times 10, like crank that notch up to 10, and that's how bad it hurt. So I was taking everything, Gravel, I took Advil, I don't even know, I took Gas-X for bloating. I took everything you can possibly imagine that just like you would get over the counter. I even took the meds that I got in case we got traveler's diarrhea, and that didn't help. I went to bed that night pretty sick, slept basically all day. I woke up the next day on the Monday and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm fine, I'm ready to go. So by the end of Sunday night, I was like super ill. I was sitting on the bathroom floor, I was shaking, I was wearing a hoodie, I was throwing up. And Jody came in and she crushed up an Advil for me on a spoon and basically like hid it in yogurt so I could swallow it because I can't swallow pills. And after that, I went to my room, had a nap, woke up, and like was renewed. I was completely refreshed. I felt so good. And I was like bouncing around, had some food, went to bed, and I was like kind of not feeling super great, but like 10 times better than I'd felt that day. I woke up Monday morning and was ready to go. I was like, well, let's go to work. I'm so excited. We got so many things we have to work on. And then it kind of hit me. And I was like, oh no, I don't feel good again. Like I really don't feel good. So we stayed home just to be safe, and I spent the day, as one does, in the bathroom, you know. By the end of that day, by around like 3 o'clock-ish, I would say, I was in the bathroom on the floor again with my hoodie on. I was shaking, I was throwing up, I just like everything. It hurt so bad, and I was there and I looked at Brendan, and I am not someone who goes to the hospital for anything normally. Like I refuse to go to the doctor, I don't go to the hospital, I just like wait until the very, very, very last minute. And I was there and I was like, tell Jody we need to go to the hospital, like we have to go now, I am not okay. So away we went to a clinic where we got turned away. I was in the car, I had a bucket, I had a blanket, I had my hoodie on. Brendan had to learn how to drive the stick shift. In that moment, he had got into the car, like he can drive a stick, but he has not driven a stick in a really long time, and it's on the other side of the road. So he was a champ, only stalled like 6 times in the span of us trying to get to the hospital. We got to the ER, we checked in, and I drank my entire liter of water that I had, my entire bottle. I drank that on the way there basically, threw up in the car, got to the ER, sat there, they checked me in. I threw up again. We got in so fast because in South Africa, the time you wait is not even half of that you wait in Canada. When I broke my pinky a couple of years ago, I had to wait for 8 hours in the ER. We waited for probably 45 minutes and I was in the back in like the triage. So the lady, as I got in, she took my blood pressure and she took my temperature, and she was like, take off your sweater. Take off your sweater. You are so hot. You could bake a bread in your stomach. Like, that's how hot you are right now. And she was like, you are so hot. Holy shit. And you're super dehydrated. And I was like sitting there and was like, but I'm so cold. Like, I can't, I'm freezing. And I took off my sweater, went immediately into the back, and they hooked me up to an IV with a bunch of fluids and electrolytes so that I could rehydrate myself. And basically I just kind of lied there. They had to prick me twice. They did it when they were trying to draw blood. They got it here and they tried to stick it in my hand, and both times, because I was so dehydrated, you couldn't even see the veins. Like, normally I have pretty vascular hands. Like, I don't know if you can tell right now. You can see the veins in my hand, right? Like, you can see them up here, you can kind of see them in my arm. That day, I was so dehydrated after like 48 hours of not being able to eat or drink or keep anything down. They pricked me twice and could not draw blood. Eventually they got some, but it hurt so bad. I had these nasty bruises on my hands for like a couple days after that because I bruised so bad. But yeah, so after that, we hung out, waited till my IV bag basically like went all the way down. There's some pretty good pictures of me, like this one, just chilling in the hospital. And then there's also this nice video that Brendan took.
No, it's my butt. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Hi Sam, how you doing?
Good. I was trying to flex, you know?
Got the yellow goop
Yeah, I did. So,
into her veins.
1 week and a half into South Africa, Sam has already broken herself into the hospital.
Broken Paul back at it again, boys.
Yeah. Really an authentic traveling experience, I would say.
Yes.
You know what?
Do you
Everyone's
want-
got to end up in the hospital at least once in their life, so. Glad this is my
Well,
time.
I was born there, so I think that counts for me. Do you want in on this, Jody?
I do not.
Okay.
She always does. Are you kidding me? She loves to vlog.
I had to drive Sam to the hospital.
In the standard.
In a stick shift. In a power outage.
Yeah, it was difficult. She threw up in the car.
I did.
It was nasty.
It was really good. My puke bucket's on the floor. It's a popcorn bucket.
Oh yeah, let's get that on the
Yeah.
vlog. No one's gonna be eating popcorn out of that again.
You want to keep it as a secret?
No, I do not. It's all yours.
My IV bag kind of emptied itself when I got those fluids in. I felt 10 times better. We went and paid the bill, which is only like $300 or $320, which is really cheap if you think about how much a bed costs in Canada just per day. And it wasn't like the entire day. We were probably there for like 4 hours. Then we went home, hung out, spent the next day at home again, just kind of like feeling much better, but also just trying to like get back on my feet. And yeah, that is my hospital story of how I ended up in the hospital in Johannesburg. That weekend, because we had been so cabin feverish from staying in the house for like a couple days when I was sick, we went out Friday and Saturday and just like adventured so hard. We went to the Cradle of Humankind and the Sterkfontein Caves, and then the next day we went to Cradle Moon, which is a game park and lodge, did a 10K hike, hung out, ate some food, and hung out with zebras, which was like the coolest thing ever. But this weekend is Cape Town Pride, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna try to do like an actual like vlog style vlog of me holding the camera, walking around, explaining what we're doing, where we're going, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that'll be super cool. Keep your eyes peeled for that on my channel. And yeah, and I'll see you guys at Cape Town Pride.